Welcome to Film Tech and Finance, where we explore the cutting-edge technology and financial strategies driving the film industry today.
Welcome back to Film Tech and Finance. Today, we are joined by a filmmaker turned brand strategist who knows exactly how to run expertise into authority. Over the past decade, he's worked with more than 150 entrepreneurs and massive brands, including Grant Cardone, Callaway, and 511 Tactical, creating content that has generated over 1 billion views online. He's a master at helping B2B leaders cut through the noise, build trust, and drive growth through powerful storytelling. Please welcome to the show, Jake Isham.
Thank you for having me.
Thanks for being here. So, tell us a little bit about yourself, your background, your history, your company. We talked a little bit about briefly in the phone call we had. And yeah, very interesting. I mean, you do a lot of things that we've done in the past and we do now. So tell us a bit about you and your company right now and what do you do?
For sure. So I grew up acting. I'm born and raised in LA, kind of, stereotypical kid from the Valley. But I grew up acting. And I then, in my late teens, I was kind of getting sick of doing the audition game. And I had an agent, had a manager at the time. And I was just like, I was getting my own auditions more. I was getting more of my own auditions than they were getting me. And I was like, okay, this is ridiculous. And I pretentiously was like, well, I'm just going to write and direct my own movies and cast myself in them. So I never have to do auditions ever again. And so then I went down the rabbit hole of learning how to be a director and ended up going to film school, went to Chapman University. And by my senior year, I had forgotten I had even wanted to be an actor. I had totally forgot about any ambitions of being an actor and truly fell in love with the craft of directing and running the set, managing the set, and just creating films. But then, post grad, I get hit with the realization, okay, well, I have to pay bills. I have a thing called, expenses and in real life. And so I basically, very fortunate that both my parents are artists and they were never like, well, go get a job. Go work at Starbucks. Go drive Uber. Like they were just like, well, you want to be a director? Well, go figure it out. Go direct movies. Like go direct. My dad did give me a piece of advice. It's like, if you want to be a director, well, keep a camera in your hand, get paid to practice. And so I kind of, I took that advice and was like, okay, what can I get paid to do? And so I kind of dabbled in the freelancing space. And then, and I had to learn business after, at 23 years old or whatever it was like, oh, there's a whole another set of skills here to learn, which is business skills that, they do not teach you in film school. And then learning business and then realizing if I really want to actually make it, I can't be a freelancer. I have to actually create an agency. I have to create a company and basically work myself out of a job in that respect. And, over the last decade plus, I've basically had to come to the grips of like, okay, building an agency versus being an artist. And what does that mean for myself? And then, to date, as you've said in the very kind intro, is we've done over 1 billion views, worked with some major brands and had some good success over the years.
Wow, that's amazing. 1 billion views is like crazy right now. It's very nice. Congratulations on that. And very good advice too. And you're one of the lucky ones because your parents pretty much backed you up and helped you because a lot of times there's a problem, with the industry here because, you do a lot of work. Sometimes you don't get paid. It's hard to get paid if you're not organized and you don't know what you're doing. I've gone through those ups and downs in the industry too. We started like that to like post-production, then we did a little production. So tell us a little bit right now, how do you, like, what do you focus on? Because you said you started doing movies, but right now I'm guessing you're helping brands. You're not actually building a movie, or
No, I'm very much doing both at the same time. So last year, I was doing a lot of agency work and really growing the business. And which again, I let the agency be the agency, where I'm not worrying about it to be creatively fulfilling for myself. It's a company. And if the goal of the company is to deliver products that the clients are excited about and happy about, proud to show. And whether I'm like, oh, this is the best thing ever or not, that's not the purpose of it. The purpose is to make sure the clients are happy compared to, and then I was doing so much of that and I was like, I need to do something creative. And so my wife and I challenged ourselves and we made 14 short films in 4 months. Yeah.
Crazy. Yeah.
So that was a lot of fun.
Amazing. So those short movies, were they built to go to festivals, or you just upload them? Like, were they social media ones?
It was mainly they were all like sub 5 minutes, and they were more for social media. And to be honest, it was just practice. The thing is, like, it's notoriously known that the directors on set are the least experienced individuals. And so I'm a big believer of like, why is somebody, why are the greats that we admire so great? Because they do the work that nobody sees. Kobe Bryant's, the Michael Phelps, the Michael Jordans, the Tiger Woods, and so I try to, and I'm definitely by no means the best at it. There are people who do this so much better than I do, but I try more and more as I get older to just do the reps. And to practice and just to, it is just a quantity game. So when I do, make a feature film, which is on the horizons, that I know what I'm doing because I've done it. I've done it in the short films. I've done it in client work. I've done it in commercials, in music videos, in social, and I can think with all of it. And
So since you said 14 short films and social media, what is your take right now? Because there's the vertical producer, they call him right now for social media. Pretty much they use phones, sometimes it's phones or a regular.
But also they're shooting with those with Alexas now.
And that's what I'm saying. So
every camera you can imagine.
Right. So that's what I'm saying. Because sometimes when you go to social media, a high-end camera is overkill, too much content. Because you can shoot 12K right now or whatever, even higher, but you can only upload under 4K on social media. It's hard to go 4K even in some cases. So right now, what would your advice be for a new filmmaker or somebody that's trying to break it in the market? Like, as you said, when you did the 14 films, besides the training part, or not the training, the learning curve that you use it for, is it something that you would advise somebody to do to get his feet wet, to start like that? Or should
100%. The greatest thing you can do is just practice. Especially right now, at the time of this recording, Obsession and Backrooms are made by two quote unquote YouTubers, right? But the thing is this, they have hours and hours and hours and hours and hours and hours and hours of experience. They've done enough videos. So even though Kane is 20, he's uploaded hundreds of videos, right? The director of Backrooms, Kane Parsons, he's made hundreds of videos by the age of 20, right? That's why he can direct a $10 million movie and it can go on to make $300 million because he does have the practice. He has the experience. And, same thing with Curry Barker, with who directed Obsession. He just has the experience compared to, all right, some 25-year-old coming out of film school who's directed 3 short films, right?
The reason I'm asking you is because I had a conversation with an old school, let's say, producer, director. And for them, they don't consider producers the people that do vertical film or short film. My take is right now is production is a production, same concept. But, a lot of people think if it's not in a studio setting with a professional camera, it's not producing. Well, technically it is producing because you're producing film, video, not film, video. But yeah, a lot of people don't have access to high-end cameras in the beginning, especially.
My you could say hot take is I think there's a difference between what Curry Barker is doing, right? With writing sketch comedy for YouTube, on set, locations, there's some lighting, there's cameras, even if it's just a simple Canon or, Sony FX3 or, Canon C50, right? Again, a couple $1,000 camera, but there's scripts. There's acting, there's characters compared to a vlog, right? Compared to David Dobrik or Emma Chamberlain, right? Or any of the other YouTubers who it's more documentary filmmaking. That's a difference. It's hey, look, can we produce a shoot in the sense of, can we get 2 actors who can learn lines, who can learn a script? That's still filmmaking. What Clerks did, it's what El Mariachi was. It was, all Blair Witch Project, all of the low budget indie films, that's what it is. Now they're just being able to self-distribute on YouTube.
Right.
So, or, yes, the vertical filmmaking is the acting cheesy. Sure. But you could say the same thing about General Hospital, The Young and the Restless. You could talk about that, any soap opera. It's just the soap opera genre in a different format. Now, you as an actor, you as a producer, as a director, again, you have to fight that label. If you were to come in through the soap opera space, okay, how do I get out of being a soap opera actor, a soap opera director, producer, cinematographer? Does it show you your good skill? I don't know. So you can either choose to take the paycheck or not.
And
And
so
so,
you don't have to lower your quality just because you're doing vertical. You can still keep a high quality if you want to. Because, you see a lot of videos online because that's what sells. I get it. That's how you get the clicks. But, for me, you shouldn't sacrifice quality unless you don't care about getting your name out there. You know what I mean? Unless you just want to be that guy that makes a funny video
yeah, but it just depends on what you want to do. And like, there's a great story. My wife's a writer and actress, and she showed me this quote from Michael Caine, who took for a number of years a series of B movies. He told his agent, as long as they're shooting somewhere warm, I will do the movie. So anything in the Caribbean, Hawaii, South America, he's like, great, I'll do it. He didn't care if it paid the rate and it was somewhere warm. He's like, I don't want to spend 3 months in the rain.
Mm-hmm. Right. Yeah.
Right? Like, you can you're allowed to do whatever you want.
Yeah, it's creative, right?
Yeah, and it's creative. Okay, great. Like,
right.
Oh, and he's, one of the finest actors of our generation.
Right. Of course. So tell me a little bit about right now the company, the way you have set up. What's like the plan for the company? What's if I would say, how do you see? I don't want to say 5 years because a lot of people right now is like the market's so liquid right now. Nobody knows.
There's definitely a 5, 10, 30-year plan here.
Okay, what's the plan? If you want to give us
basically our goal is to help entrepreneurs build their personal brand. I'm a big believer in, personal brands and that people buy into people. That's why you have mascots like, Flo from Progressive, Jake from State Farm, to Ronald McDonald. Like, these companies built a personal brand. The biggest brands, the biggest companies today were personal brands. Mm-hmm. Walt Disney. Mm-hmm. Ford. Like, these were people's last names. They were based on the individual who built them. Who is the richest man in the world? Elon Musk, again, that we know of. And personal brand. He's done it all through a personal brand. There's no SpaceX marketing. There's no Tesla marketing. It's all based on his personal brand. And again, controversy with the personal brand, but also, I don't know, you look at the speed of growth in the last couple of years and it's gone like even more. Mm-hmm. So controversy might have helped his personal brand, that he's gotten half the country to kind of hate his guts.
Oh, yes.
I don't know.
Yeah.
He's making more money. So
right. It might be part of the plan. Yeah.
So I'm a big believer in personal brands. So I love working with the entrepreneurs who, again, we agree on a similar mentality in terms of where the world is going, how it should go. And I want to, help those entrepreneurs win and get bigger. I jokingly say I'm an accidental marketer. I never planned on being in marketing, but I enjoy it. I love it. And I love helping, really cool people win.
So help me a little bit understand. Let's say I'm a company and I come to your brand. I want to better my brand, as you said. Do you just work on the video side of it? Should you just create content for them, to distribute it? Or do you do anything else that would help that?
So I work as a kind of a consulting creative director, a fractional creative director, depending on that, as needed. Otherwise, my agency specializes in content specifically, where I have a lot of friends who've built very successful marketing agencies and, 7, 8, 9-figure agencies. And I've seen what it takes to do that. And it's not my personal ambitions be across marketing, but our niche is content. My background as a filmmaker, I'm still actively working as a filmmaker, and we make great content for marketing.
Mm-hmm. Perfect. So I'm guessing social media, if they want to upload the websites, distribution.
Exactly. So social is, you could say majority of it, 60+% of it. The other 40 kind of falls into, VSLs, website content, funnel content. The social media is split, you could say, into paid ads and organic social.
Okay. And then your customers could be from any industry or field. It's not the media, right? You could be from
Correct.
Any kind of field.
Yeah, we actually we probably work with nobody in the actual entertainment industry. I mean, we have a couple clients who are artists themselves, but we work on their personal brand as an artist, not like, oh, we're going to make your movie for you.
Okay. And then another hot topic right now that we talk with everybody pretty much every show is AI, right? AI.
Yeah.
How do you use it? What do you think of it right now? Because there's so many opinions. People are afraid of it. People don't know how to use it. People are afraid if they use it, that's going to create more harm than good. I mean, what's your take right now?
Well, as a small SMB, I don't run a $1 billion company. I'm definitely a fan of AI in the respect of how can it help make my business grow faster and grow easier. I use it as a research tool, as like, oh, can we were just the other day setting up a new cold email campaign and using it to help create that cold email campaign. So it's like, I can do that. I can, I use it to help me make certain functions easier and faster rather than fumbling around trying to figure it out, paying an agency to do it that I'm like, I don't know if they'll actually, like I had an agency do a cold email program for me. I was paying them thousands of dollars and it was okay. It wasn't great. It did go successfully. I don't know. And so I've, decided to try my own, but I have, I'm a Claude guy and, had Claude help me walk me through it. And so I can do that for $20 for the month.
Right.
Compared
It's
to
a lot cheaper than
thousands of
having-
dollars,
Right.
Okay, great. So I, let's say it's a couple $100 or, another $100 on the actual whatever. My point is the money in, the money out, we'll see how it does over the next 4 months. If the results are better or worse. But it's to me, it's a litmus test. It's like, I look at it as so much of our space in the SMB space does a lot of like with VAs, for example, right? Individuals from the Philippines, from, Taiwan, from Indonesia, like, kind of more third world countries. And we're paying them, I know a lot of people are paying them like $5 an hour, $3 an hour, maybe $10 an hour, less than minimum wage out here. For high level, for tasks that are much more than minimum wage. And like anything, and that's kind of my mentality is that like, if I'm just going to give it to a VA, well, let me see if AI can do it.
Right.
This was the simplest, stupidest thing that I used AI for recently, is that I had a lot of CSV files, Excel files. And in the past, I've had to manually go in and like copy, 1,000 rows and put them into like all one document. And it would like crash my computer. It couldn't handle that much copy and pasting. I was able to take 20 different CSVs, put it into Claude and go, put these all into one document for me.
Done.
And it did in 2 minutes. So like, is something as silly and stupid as that saved me 20 minutes of time and cut it down by, 18 minutes. So I look at, am I using it to like be a complete person and this is and that's? No. But I'm using it to like, okay, if there's something I would delegate or automate, well, or something that I can't confront. Because that's one of the other tools, especially as a business owner of like, because again, business is not where I naturally think with. I'm an artist at the end of the day.
Right.
So I'm not using it to replace me being an artist. I'm not like, okay, great, go prompt my videos and go edit my videos for you. It's like, no, that's the fun part of my job.
Yeah, that was my next question is like to use it for the artist part of it. Because that's kind of dangerous sometimes because honestly, I did a little research and the way most of the AIs work is when you tell it to create some kind of video, it's in a gray field on who owns it or, the faces that sometimes it creates, like where did it get that face? Is it created or is it copied? That's the biggest problem. I mean,
I've seen some AI films and whatnot, short films or trailers or this. I'm like, they're just ripping Scarlett Johansson or Tom Cruise. Like,
right, exactly.
Like, you see them like, oh, that actor looks exactly like, that character looks exactly like that actor.
Right,
and
exactly.
It's pretty obvious.
Right. And then there's that's that field where, there's one thing to use it for administrative work. And as you said, copy pasting our files, that's helpful. But when it comes to creative or it creates like music and like, where do you get that beat? Is it like you just built it from scratch or you just copied it? You can't really copy, stuff and just use it.
Yeah. And I had a whole strong argument on this on a different podcast just recently because, the whole thing is it's about intellectual property and who owns intellectual property. And it's the Wild West right now. It's a new version of the Wild West and it happens to be an AI. And, but yeah, we'll see how it goes. But at the end of the day,
our take for AI right now is that we use it also. You definitely have to babysit it, and you have to be careful with the prompts because sometimes it makes you feel that it's so automated, but you have to be careful because sometimes the outcome is not what you want. And if you don't, be careful, it can create like a hassle at the end. And then it's more, cleanup work than the help it did. But for simple stuff, it's very fine right now. It's like good. And it's getting better. That's the thing. We notice that it is getting better. It's learning. I mean, the whole concept of it learning, it actually, I feel it. Since we started using AI till now, I mean, I've seen huge differences on the outcome. And that's,
yeah. AI will never be worse than it is right now.
Right. It's because it's in the beginning phase, right? Everybody's learning.
Yeah.
Even companies, they don't know.
We're at the very front end of AI,
Yeah, of course. Now, give me a little breakdown on, especially because we're Film Tech and Finance as a show. So your creative part of it. Do you guys work in studios? Do you guys do smaller productions? Or let's say if a brand would come, do you actually have a crew that would go in a location that the customer wants? Or how does that work in general? Like, what would be... And again, you don't have to get into too much details, but in general, how would you create something?
Yeah, we're totally concierge in our way. We were just in Utah a week ago for a shoot for a client. We're going to Arkansas in 2 weeks for a shoot. We shoot locally in the Southern California, Los Angeles area, but our goal is to create what's going to be best for the client. So a lot of the time with the personal brand, we'll shoot at their office or their home itself. And, but it really depends. What is the right location for that shoot, for that message, for that set of videos or that specific video? And, we're very much just, what's going to be best for the client and for the shoot.
If somebody would approach you right now and ask for a brand, how do you call it? Like, you want to fix my brand. You create the content. I'm guessing with talking to the customer, find out his needs. And then, because that's the biggest problem right now with example for social media is how do you measure and quote unquote ROI? Like, I create a nice content, right? It's beautiful. I put it on social media. Is your goal to try and make it go viral? Or the goal is it to just make me look good? I mean, what's the whole concept? Because the reason I'm asking this is a lot of people create content for social media. And because their mind is virality, like, okay, how do I make a video that gets 1 billion views, as you said? It hits 10,000 views. Now, was the video bad or was the message bad or did it do good in my brand or didn't? Like, how do you measure something like that? Is that something that you guys get involved with that or you just create the content and then it's up to whoever wants to distribute it? I don't know.
Yeah, so it's definitely something that we look at. But the first thing that I always do is talk to the client with their goals. What is their goals? Is their goal virality? And then I ask why. Why do you want to go viral? Like, the main people who quote unquote need to go viral are people who are making entertainment because they literally get paid by the views. Most business owners don't get paid by the views. I'll give you a specific example with a gentleman who's a friend of mine who called me just for some advice. He runs a post audio house in Los Angeles. And he had just gone to a social media workshop. And he then called me and was like, okay, great. Let me get your advice. He actually just did the audio on Obsession on Curry Barker's film. So he did all the post audio on it. And, it was conversations with Curry, like, okay, he got big on social. Should I be doing social? How should I be doing social? And I realized, look, social has two purposes from a business. I'll take one step back. From entertainment, you have either entertainment or business. And they're two very different things. You have like the TikTok influencers and the influencers in general, right? They get paid by brand, like one of two ways, by either, or I should say one of three ways. But it all comes down to views, right? So they're either getting paid by the social media platform themselves, which is called AdSense, which, but just in case your listeners don't know, right? YouTube pays them because that's what they get ads in front of their videos or TikTok, etc. You then have brand deals, which is the biggest way they get paid. And they're basically a brand is giving them $5,000 to get, hopefully X amount of views and X amount of reach and then conversions, instead of giving it to Meta directly, and saying, okay, we're going to run this as an ad. So that's why they do brand deals, because they're going to reach a specific targeted audience because of this influencer. And they get paid more money based on the amount of views they get. So to go viral matters for them because they get literally paid more by more views. As a business owner, your total adjustable market, your TAM, the amount of people who can actually pay you is not 1 billion people, most likely. depending on, and it was very specific. To go back to this example, this buddy I was just talking to just the other day who runs this post house, I go, how many projects are being made in a year? Maybe 5,000, maybe 8,000 projects, like totally. So there's a total of about 8,000 projects compared to Kleenex boxes or McDonald's. How many people do they serve a year, right? And so to get 1 billion views, 1 million views on a video, you're trying to reach a total of maybe like 5,000 people. So there's two different, this is the long-winded explanation for in social media. I see two different routes and reasons why you do it. You have PR, which is basically just general awareness. How do people think of you? Are you top of mind? Not, okay, I'm ready to buy from you. I want to do business with you. It's, oh my God, I saw your video. You're top of mind. You're thinking of you. Then there's marketing. That's usually done in paid ads or some other follow-up, or it can be in your, which is, hey, buy now, right? That's more of a marketing video. That goes for more conversions. But also, is his audience going to, for this post house, going to see a TikTok and be like, oh, I should hire this guy?
Right.
No, that's not the strategy. The strategy is just general awareness. So if you're averaging 5,000 views, fine. But let's make sure it's probably going to be the right 5,000 views.
Mm-hmm. Right.
That's going to then end up hiring. Like, for example, I had an old client of mine literally be like, hey, I've been seeing all your content. How you doing? They're reaching out to me simply because I've been posting content, not because of any other reason, but I'm top of their mind, which is what matters. Like, and to give one final story, is working ironically again with somebody in the entertainment industry, and he was, he's a client of ours, and we're posting content in his, and he goes to a networking, Hollywood shishi party, a lot of famous people and whatnot. And one of the biggest directors in Hollywood come up to him and says, oh my God, I'm loving your TikTok videos. Absolutely obsessed with them. They're fantastic. Mind you, my client has never met this director in person. Obviously, he's been a big fan of his, but now he can build a relationship with him. But the director came up to him. He's not chasing the director. And purely because of this PR campaign, we're not trying to be like, hire me, guys. I need work. Hire me on social media. He's just making cool videos about music and talking about music and the past projects he's done and showing kind of cool ways to make new music. And thus, he's top of mind to people.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Nice. So right now, if somebody wants to contact you or find you, what would be the easiest way? Is it email? Is it LinkedIn? Or what do you have right now?
Any of the above. Like, you can honestly Google my name. This is going to sound completely pretentious, but Google my name and any of those links, and you'll see my photography, my filmmaking. My agency is Creative Minds. The website is creativemindofficial.com. LinkedIn is great. LinkedIn is a very safe place to hit me up with an email or a message there. But otherwise, any of the above all work.
Nice. Perfect. And right now, I mean, with technology, one other take is, I want to ask you, do you embrace, right now, for example, for the cameras, right? I was in the NAB show last April, and I mean, we're looking at cameras now, like with Blackmagic, for example. It's it's above 12K. I mean, they're going crazy.
17K?
Yeah, 17K and stuff like that. I mean, is that overkill? What do you think right now? We're talking about social media, which is not even 4K, and we have cameras that are 17K. I know the purpose.
YouTube is actually pushing more 4K content right now.
Well, yeah, it's going up there. Yeah, but I mean, I understand technically why would you use right now 17K. It's not for the 17K of it. It's for, for the quality and being able to, zoom in better and stuff like that. But then we have the issue with storage, right? Like, where do you store this massive content, right? How do you move it? I mean, you can move it technically, but you can't. Yeah.
I do think 12K, 17K is a little excessive. I don't have the full understanding of why you would use that personally. I am, there's these 6K cameras that are coming out recently. I think that, to me, is 100% worth it, especially if there's 6K open gate. This is going to get really nerdy. So for the actual filmmaking, if you're not an actual filmmaker or in the content creation space, you might skip this part. Right. But if you're in it, let's talk about it for a second. But I think 6K open gate right now is 100% worth it. Mm-hmm. Because it allows you, like, for example, I was at NAB and then Cine Gear also myself, and the Kinefinity 6K camera, and they have a way of internally doing grid lines for horizontal and vertical. Mm-hmm. And so with the 6K open gate, that if you're able to frame both for vertical and horizontal at the same time, or at least make sure your grid lines so that you know that you're good for both, like 100% that is worth it, in my opinion, because we're moving into a space. Look at this podcast right now. Like, are we framed well for YouTube, but also for TikTok? How are we going to do that? Like, to understand that at all times is unfortunately the name of the game right now.
Right.
And so I think 6K open gate, 8K open gate. I don't think anybody's doing 8K open gate, but if you get that, 6K open gate right now, I think is 100% worth the investment, worth the extra hard drives, because it gives you the exact framing that you need for both.
Right. And then that's why I think right now, if you're a filmmaker or you want to create film, you have to be, besides a businessman, creative, of course. You have to be creative in the beginning, right? That's how you start. But then you have to be a technician. You need to know technical, as you said, stuff like that, because it's going to save you time and money. And then
or have a friend who knows it. Right. And you guys tag team. The friend knows the technical, you know the business, and you guys can, or vice versa. You know the technical, the friend knows the business, and partner. I'm a big believer of find teammates who can help you out.
Collaboration is a big thing with this industry. That you can't do it without it. Yep. And then one last question. There's a podcast. You have a podcast. Tell me a little bit about that.
I actually have, I feel like such an asshole. I have 2 podcasts.
Everybody has a podcast now. That's the thing.
I know. And it's so annoying. But I have a podcast called Move Faster, which is a solo podcast. Basically, it's a semi-diary of the lessons I'm learning in real time. And it's a resource that I wish I had found when I was coming up. I mean, when I was coming up 10 plus years ago, we didn't have podcasts. And I had to learn business. And basically, I don't feel anybody, and I could be wrong, I haven't found somebody who's really teaching the business of being an artist well. And it's something that is definitely not widely talked about. The successful entrepreneurs talk about being a businessman, and they don't really get being an artist. And the artists that are successful never talk about business. I mean, you have the top, the Kevin Harts, the Mark Wahlbergs. You're like, I just invested in my 17th company and I'm making an extra 17% on my, like, all right, bro. How does that help us at, making, $5 right here, And so that's what that podcast is. Then I have another podcast called The Creative Lens, which is completely on the flip side of it, which is a buddy of mine. And he's a cinematographer. And we basically nerd out about film stuff. From gear, Hollywood, everything that we're doing. It's actually on Thursday. It's a live show that we do Thursdays, 11:30 Pacific Standard Time, 2:30 Eastern Standard Time. And it's a lot of fun. And we just basically talk about filmmaking, cinematography, gear, the struggles that we're going through, content creators that we're admiring, and filmmakers that, that are pushing innovation and whatnot.
Nice. I'll check it out. Yeah, it's pretty cool. I mean, I saw a little bit about the podcast. That's why I had to ask. Okay, perfect. I think, I don't know if you want to add anything else, or if there's any other thing you would like to talk about, like in specific, like, I don't know, your company, your brand. I think we got everything we need right now. We all have information.
Yeah. Oh, it's been a lot of fun chatting with you.
Nice talking to you too. So yeah, we're going to do whatever we can also to promote your business. I mean, we like promoting businesses.
Appreciate that.
And we're going through some changes also. We're doing some things. That's why you see also right now, I mean, what you're seeing, they're not going to see this, but yeah, we're doing some changes with the studio setup and everything. So we're upgrading and upscaling too. So
amazing.
Bigger. Perfect. Thank you very much for your time, all your information. And I think, people will find you. If they want anything from your company, they'll email you. We're going to have your information on our website too. And that's it for tonight. I think that's
fantastic.
And nothing else. Thanks for being with us.
Thanks for having me.
Yeah. Bye.
Thanks for joining us on Film Tech and Finance. Don't forget to follow and subscribe for more insights and updates.